Okay, myself R.S. Kapurkar, PGT Mathematics from Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, Valsad. Dear students, good morning everybody. So in this class, this is the class 8 and I am going to teach you the mathematics and the chapter is chapter number 15, Introduction to Graph. First of all, in the introduction, the name itself explains the graph. So where we find this graph? So in the lower classes, the student know only the graph and the graph paper. Graph paper is different. But what is a graph? So every in the TV or in the magazine or in the newspaper, you see the graph. Always you see the graph in the magazine also. So in day-to-day life, suppose there is an electricity bill. In this electricity bill, the graph is given in the form of table. Graph means it may be in the form of table also. So graph, what is the definition of graph? In introduction we can see the graph. Graph is a virtual representation of the data collected. First, the data is collected in the form of table, and from that table we can show in the virtual form. This virtual form is known as the graph. So this is a very simple definition of graph, and there are different types of graph. Today we have to learn the types of graph. In earlier classes you have also learned. So first is a bar graph. Hello students, have you learned the bar graph? So bar graph, in this bar graph, so it consists of a bars in the form of rectangles, having uniform width. So this is about the bar graph. So bar graph, it used to compare with the others, or comparing the commodities or comparing the categories. Suppose the marks obtained by the students in the different subjects. So we can draw a graph or a bar graph. So this we have already learned in the lower. Now the second type is a double bar graph. Double bar graph shows the comparison between the two. Suppose double bar graph is like this. The marks scored by the student in the different subjects in the first term test and second term test. Suppose these are the marks. English, Hindi and mathematics, and here the marks are given out of 50. So this shows the double bar graph in which we can compare the marks obtained by the students in the first term test and the second term test, and we can compare what is the trend. Trend may be upward or downward. So in television also you see some of the examples in the double bar graph, just like the bowlers cricketers and the bowlers, run and the over. So in this way, this double bar graph, you can depict the information. Now the third type is a pie chart. So what is this pie chart? By name you can find a pie chart or a circle chart. So by name itself says that the circle. So we know the complete measure of a circle is 360 degree. So in the form of circle, if we represent the data, so it gives a pie graph. Pie graph is always in the form of circle. And we take the sectors, different sectors, and we can form the pie chart, the form like this. So this is the pie chart which depicts in the form of a circle. So these are the different types of the graphs we have already learned in the lower classes. Now in this class we have to learn the another type of the graph, that is a line graph. A line graph. A line graph means the name itself explains the graph of the graph itself a straight line. So this is known as a line graph. So dear students, these are the different types of the graph, and we know the reading of this graph and give the answers. So there is one exercise. There is one exercise in the textbook that we have to read the graph given and we have to answer the questions which are asked in the questions. Exercise 15.1. Exercise 15.1. The question number 1. So question number 1, the graph is given. So everybody see the graph. So this is a graph and some questions are asked. So what was the temperature? Question A. What was the temperature of patient? Say patient at 1 p.m. So dear student, you observe the graph. On x-axis the time is given and y-axis the temperature is given. So our question is, what was the temperature of patient at 1 p.m.? So see here, there is a 1 p.m. and go upward and see, draw one perpendicular, the perpendicular intersect at point. So there is a temperature is 36.5 degree Celsius. 36.5 degree Celsius. This is the temperature of the patient at 1 p.m. Similarly, the another question is, when was the patient temperature 38.5 degrees Celsius? So again on y-axis the temperature is given. You just draw a perpendicular from 38.5 degree. It will meet and draw a perpendicular on time axis. You will get that at 12:30 p.m. So at 12:30 p.m. the temperature of patient was 38.5 degree Celsius. So in this way we can ask the different questions and we should be able to observe the graph and try to give the answers. Then there is one another concept, that is the coordinates. Coordinates so this is the system. This is a Cartesian system. This is a Cartesian system in which we locate or plot the points. In which we locate or plot the points in form of coordinate, say x, y. Say x, y. So this coordinate system is also we have to learn in this chapter. If the different points are given, then you should able to plot this point in the Cartesian system. Let's have one example. From exercise 15.2, question number 1. Plot the following points. Plot the following points in a graph sheet. In a graph sheet. Suppose the points are like this: A, whose coordinate is 4, 0, B point, whose coordinates are given as 4, 2, point C, whose coordinates are 4, 6, and point D, whose coordinates are 4, 2.5. So first we have to prepare the Cartesian system, that is the grid. So here the x-axis, this horizontal line is known as x-axis, and this vertical line is called as y-axis. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and say 8. Here also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So we have to locate this point A on this graph. So if x, 4 is the x-axis distance, so from this 4 you draw a perpendicular and the y is 0. So 0. So this point is 4, 0. This point is 4, 0. Second point 4, 2. X-axis, that is a 4, and y-axis, that is 2. So this is your 4, 2. Third line is 4, 6. So x is 4 and y is 6. This is a point C, this is point B, and this is point A, and the last point is D, 4, 2.5. So 2.5 is between the 2 and 3, there is a 2.5. So here is the point D, 4, 2.5. So these are the 4 points. If we plot on the graph and try to join all these 4 points, one thing you observe that all these 4 lines, all these 4 points lie on a line. All these 4 points lie on a line. So in this way, the question may be asked, plot the point, and we can get the different figures also. So we have to name. Here the straight line is formed. So most of the example or another example, the rectangle may be formed. So you have to identify the figure also and plot this point. Okay boys? So this is the content which we have learned. Just we can summarize in few words. So first we have learned what are the types of the graph. In the types of the graph we have learned first is a bar graph, second double bar graph, type number 3 is a pie chart, and type number 4 is a line graph. And also we have learned how to read the graph. If the graph is given to you, by reading the graph you have to answer the question asked. And lastly we learned the Cartesian system in which the coordinates. What are these coordinates? It is in the form of x and y. So first digit, or you can say first number gives the value of x, just as 4, 5. Means x means the 4 means the distance of a point from the 0 to x axis, that is the 4. So in this way this system, coordinate system, is also developed by mathematician Cartesian on behalf of his name. This is known as a Cartesian system also. So in this system we can plot the different points. It's all okay, students? So let's do the homeworks, and one assignment is given to you. One assignment. So draw a bar graph. Draw a bar graph of the results of first UT and second UT.